All right, what's up, guys? Welcome in. As promised, back with another video. Took me a while. Life gets busy. But we are back. And as I said, I was going to probably do some parts list and build breakdown videos. I just like watching those myself, so I kind of wanted to make some. And I figured this was going to be the perfect gun for me to start with. So we'll jump right into it. The base rifle is Daniel Defense. I bought the rifle complete. And then I've been shooting AR-15s for like 10 years, and I kind of know the furniture I like. So I wanted to just completely put what I wanted on it. This was kind of a graduation gift to myself, and I wanted to do it right. So we'll jump right into it. So it's a 14.5-inch barrel. So with that, we have a pin and welded muzzle device. This is just Daniel Defense's A2. I said it in my last video, if you are not suppressing a rifle, the A2 is perfect. You get good flash compensation, you get good recoil compensation. And they're like $10. And this is just an extended version of that, basically, to kind of get it over that 16 overall inch. I am seeing now, Daniel Defense, at the time I bought this, they were not doing this, but with some of the new lightweight rifles Daniel Defense is releasing, it seems like they are doing, like the video I watched, a guy had a dead air muzzle device compatible pin and welded onto his barrel, and I was like, man, that kind of sucks, because at the time they did not do that with these. And I would like to suppress this one day, so if I ever want to, I'm gonna have to get it sent off and get it pin and weld, or get it tapped off and pin and welded again with a new muzzle device. Anyways, working back from that, the barrel underneath is a 14.5-inch, like I said. It's chrome line, cold hammer forged. It's a Daniel Defense barrel. There's not much to say. They shoot great. They're pretty strong, so really nothing more to go. I believe it's a government profile, but don't quote me on that. It's a mid-length gas system. It does have a pinned gas block. You don't necessarily need that, but it does give you a little bit of extra rigidity. So that's nice. All right, coming to stuff you actually can see. So we've got one of the focal points of this rifle is the R3 rail. If you guys are familiar with Daniel Defense, you know the RIII from the Mark 18 is kind of got a cult following in the AR-15 world. So this is just the M-LOK version of that, and it's a big chunky rail, but it's bomb-proof and it's really sweet. I guess we'll go flashlight. So Surefire M300, M340, don't quote me, I'm not quite sure what this one is. It's not the turbo, so it's only the 500 lumen. But in my opinion, I don't think you really, I feel like we get kind of consumed in trying to go too much with the lumens and the candela, and sometimes we'll end up flash banging ourselves if we ever needed to use this at night. So, especially indoors. So I like 500 lumens because it really kind of keeps things moderate. 100 Concepts light cap up here, just to kind of reduce any negligent discharging or reduce the flash. It's kind of a money grab, but they got me with it, so I got one. Coming back, we do have the Surefire DS00. I believe that's the designation. Tail cap. I'm a big fan of redundancy. So you guys can kind of see it's still got the clicky tail cap, but it also has a tape switch lead. I don't care who makes your tape switch, eventually they will break. So I like to have that ability to still actuate the light, even if the tape switch, goes out. Unity, I think this is the mod button light. Obviously this gun is not set up for night vision, so I don't need any crazy terminals, a bunch of cables leading out or anything. This is perfect. It keeps it small, keeps it low profile. This is even smaller, obviously, than just the basic Surefire button. So I like it for that. Cable management is by this FCD rail panel. I like that a lot. Another FCD panel, or QD cup right here. Not the biggest fan that the Daniel Defense doesn't do a steel insert, so I kind of did this for myself, and I actually kind of like the 45-degree offset that this gives me. Moving, nothing too fancy here, but a rail scales vertical foregrip and Slate Black Industries rail panels. They do perfect. They keep the heat down on the hand, And then I like the stubbiness of this. I don't grab it. I kind of grab it with this modified C-clamp, and I like it a lot. Moving back, the upper itself, which we are clear. The upper itself is just a typical Daniel Defense mil-spec upper, nothing crazy about that. We've got a Radian Raptor charging handle, far and away my favorite charging handle. Nothing wrong with the Daniel Defense one that comes with it, but again, I just know what I like in terms of furniture, and this is far and away my favorite. Moving back from that, inside we've got Daniel Defense's bolt. Again, if you guys know, the Daniel Defense bolts are great. They're magnetic particle and high pressure tested. It's chrome lined, properly staked, you know, everything you want. Nothing too crazy, but it works, and that's the big thing. I skipped over it up here, but we'll hit it back here as well. But I've got Magpul Imbus Pros. I'm kind of old school in the fact that I do like having iron sights. And no, this is not a quick detach mount, but it is just knobbed. So if need be, I could easily just rip that off and get access to the iron sights if I needed it. The mount is a Geisley Super Precision. They're a little dated in my opinion at this point, but they're still rock solid mounts, and they work perfectly fine. Sitting in that is a Night Force NX8, so 1:8. I really like the NX8 because of its compact size. It's not super long. The glass is clear. The reticle is great. Nothing really more to say about it than that. It's a really great optic. Reptilia red dot mount, and then an EOTech E-Flex sitting on top. I was going to do an acro, and I still might eventually go back to an acro, but I didn't feel like spending, you know, $500-600 on an acro and I wanted to try the E-Flex, and it was like $300 on sale on Euro Optic at the time. More 100 Concepts, ARDs. Again, they probably kind of got me with the hype, but looks kind of cool, and that's half the battle. I think that's pretty much it for the upper, so we'll jump down into the lower now. So I am left-handed, and yes, there are ways to make a standard receiver ambi friendly, but I've always wanted a like true ambi lower, and I always have liked the mirrored controls. And whenever I saw Daniel Defense come out with this, I was like, I need that. So it has your mag release, your ambi mag release over here, typical ping pong paddle right here for your bolt catch and release, and then it's mirrored on this side, so your typical mag release, and then here is your bolt catch, bolt release on this side. Really sweet. I switched the ambi safety from Daniel Defense for a Talon. Again, my favorite safety. I love this safety. You don't have to worry about a screw backing out on you or anything. It works perfect. In the gun is a Geisley. I think this is the STC. Don't quote me on that. I'm not quite sure. It is the 2-stage with the flat bow. I really like flat face triggers, and there's nothing wrong with the mil-spec. It's a Schmidt that comes in the Daniel Defense, but I just wanted something a little bit nicer, and this was on sale, so I picked it up. K2 grip, favorite grip, definitely fits my hand the best. So I swapped the Daniel Defense grip out with that, and then with that, I had to get a new trigger guard, and this is just a cheap one from B5. I usually get the Magpul trigger guards, but I wanted to try something different. I kind of regret it. There's like a molding cast right here, and at long ranges, that'll kind of dig in. It's gotten better as time goes on, and I could sand it, but it's just kind of annoying. Going back, that is one thing I probably would have changed. The FCD trigger guards are actually pretty reasonably priced, and they're metal, so I probably would have gone with that, but this thing, it really doesn't bother me too bad anymore. Receiver extension is just basic, properly staked castle nut, so nothing crazy to see there. You do get a QDM plate back here should you choose to use it. I don't, but it's there if you need it. Inside is a H1 buffer, and I believe a standard carbine spring. I might eventually switch that out for like a Springco or a Geisley braided wire spring, but for now, this gun is like super well gassed. Good ejection, the recoil impulse is really nice, so I don't really see a reason to fix it. There's nothing to fix. So I don't see a reason to change it. Last thing on the gun itself is going to be a B5 stock. This is the Bravo. I wanted to try this. I've never actually had this, and these are obviously everywhere. I usually do like Magpul, but I wanted to try this, and I actually really like this a lot. This little witness mark will kind of grab onto a beard hair if you're not careful. But other than that, man, this thing is super sweet. It doesn't weigh a lot, but it gives you a good purchase both on your shoulder and a cheek weld. And aesthetically, it looks pretty sweet. And then the last thing that is not on the rifle right now, just because I wanted to keep it out of the way, but is the sling. I believe every rifle should have some form of sighting system, obviously, whether that be red dot, scope, iron sights, doesn't matter. You need to have some sort of something to aim with. You need a flashlight, preferably a nice one, you know, streamlight or above, and then you need a sling. So I took the sling off so you could actually see the gun, but this is just a T-Rex arm sling. I got this before all the T-Rex controversy, but it is a good sling. It's got the plastic glide, but I will say I've had some other slings in the past with the plastic glide, and they don't glide as well as this. This is definitely the best that I've had that's not metal, but you don't have to worry about that ripping into your gun. So that's the sling, and yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for the rifle. Let me know what you guys think. Did I do it right? Did I do it wrong? What should I change? What should I leave? And yeah, thanks for watching. Keep tuned. Probably gonna have a few more of these videos. I've got an AK build that I'm working on right now. A few other like established AR builds, and then a few pistol builds. So you guys might be able to see that kind of going forward. I do hope to get some shooting videos out here too eventually. But keep your eyes peeled, and we'll see you next time.